Hi, I am so happy to have you here today at the Face Your Grace podcast. And I am flanked right now by a fabulous mother-daughter duo, my business partner, Kate Nowlan, and her daughter, Maggie, who kind of looks like her sister. And Maggie is our featured entrepreneur today. Maggie, you started a business in the middle of COVID. Tell us a little bit about what led you to start a business at 20 years old.
I had been working in restaurants and working like 9 to 5 minimum wage jobs, but I've always been super into health and spirituality and yoga. And I actually started my yoga teacher training at the beginning of COVID. And
good for you.
Yeah, it was really exciting. And that's kind of what helped me get myself out there to know what I want to pursue. But after I finished that halfway through my yoga teacher training, COVID started, so we moved it to online. And then that gave me a lot of opportunity to kind of dive deeper into some of the things that I hadn't had the opportunity to dive into because of working and school. And so COVID kind of gave me space to really get internal and figure out the things that were important to me and what I wanted to pursue. And so after that, I don't know what.
Yeah, what an opportunity. I think it's great to use that time to develop your skills, to learn about yourself and figure out what you wanted to do. But just as a self-serving question, what gave you the motivation to be an entrepreneur?
My mother. Yeah.
Good answer, Maggie. Good answer.
And it's funny because I was always, when I was younger, I was like, I'm not going to be like you. I'm not going to be doing the things that you do. And now I'm we meet every week so that I can try to get some organization for the business side of things, because that's not really my strong point. I think I'm more of a people person, and then in the spiritual work, I think I'm really strong there, but I'm not very masculine minded. So she helps me a lot with that.
You're very masculine.
I am very masculine minded. Yes.
Well, she's an order giver and a timekeeper, and she's a coach. So, I mean, you've heard from me how she tells me what to do all the time.
She loves it.
Imagine being her daughter. But you're saying it's a benefit because you can go straight to the source to learn how to plan and make sure. What is it about the planning that's helped you?
I think just time management for me has always been difficult. When I was younger in high school.
Okay, by the way, you're still younger. You're 20 years old.
When I was in high school, though, when I was a teenager, really I was diagnosed with ADD, and I always had a really hard time with schoolwork and making sure I get things in on time and taking tests and things like that. So I learned now that it probably would have been better to, when I was younger, kind of develop those skills further. But now that I kind of it's every day waking up and making a plan for myself and sticking to it, because I'm so go with the flow. Sometimes I want to do the things that sound more fun, even though I should be sticking to my plan and what I set out and intended for myself during the day. So it's putting something on my calendar, also calendar.
Don't
putting
you
things
love when we do Google Invites for you? Or
my mom loves that.
She
loves to do that.
But I think, one of the things that I've seen, and Maggie also participated in the beta testing of our side hustle. And so she was essential in providing the feedback that was critical to making sure that we created something that a 20-year-old could follow, a 30-year-old could follow, a 40-year-old could follow.
I like that you didn't keep going to get
50-year-old, 60-year-old, whatever it is, but that it was relevant based on where you were at in life.
Absolutely.
And I think where Maggie was at was she had, there was a problem, the world was shutting down, and she created an opportunity for herself. But then beyond that, she took that organization that we talk so much about in that side hustle, about how do you hone in and just make a plan and then stick to it. And that's something that is a practice, and it's something that you're getting better at every single week.
And staying confident in myself and pushing past the fear, I think, is definitely something that I have a strong point in. I can just push past excuse me, my mind coming in saying, this is impossible, like, you're never going to do this, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's really just staying honed in on what I want to create and what my idea is, and then pushing past that fear. I think a lot of people get stuck in the fear, and then they don't want to pursue what they want to pursue.
Do you think sports had anything to do with that?
Yeah, maybe. I think I played soccer in high school and competitively my entire life, and then swam when I was really young because my mom was a swim coach as well. So
she had no choice. It was, I'm going to coach, you're coming to swim. This is how it goes.
Right. And I need to participate with your team and your group. Let's have a class. Let's go for a group run.
Yeah, and she also coached my soccer team.
I remember that.
Yeah, fitness as well. So
she couldn't get away from me.
It's consistency that taught me consistency, staying consistent, going to practice whenever I needed to go to practice, and giving my 110%. And the 4 Agreements, that book really stuck with me. I don't know if you guys have ever read that book.
What's it called?
The 4 Agreements. It's by Don Miguel something. I don't know. It's just like these different four agreements that he came up with, and one of them is trying 110% or giving your best all of the time. Because
are they agreements with yourself, or agreement you make with a partner?
With yourself, just internal work and stuff. And that's something that stuck with me, is like, no matter what it is that I'm doing, even if one person shows up to my yoga class, like this is my story that I'm creating. So when I get to where I want to be, I'm gonna have that story that I taught classes to one people. People didn't show up to my classes, and that's all part of the story. It's all part of the process.
How you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
Right?
That's a great quote. Yeah.
My kids love that quote.
It's always better when you say things to her, though, than when I do. So I think this is fantastic. We should just keep going here.
She's pretty fantastic.
She is fantastic. So Maggie, one of the things that I know that now you're building your business out further. So it started with just yoga training or yoga classes for people. And then you're doing bigger work now with more of the holistic healing side. So you have your Reiki certification, you're looking to be a healer in that capacity. And you've been building an online business for yourself, which is, I think, a great opportunity right now, especially because it allows you to travel wherever you end up, you know, with your schooling, etc. It allows you to do that wherever you are.
Yeah, it gives so much opportunity, like social media and online stuff, for sure. And I think I started with an idea, and then that idea just kind of grew, and that's kind of, and it just opened up all these different doors for me. And now I'm getting into, it's been a year since that happened, like beginning of COVID I started this, and I'm doing it just full time for myself now. And then I'm now getting into more of the masculine minded stuff. So when my mom put this out, it was actually perfect for where I was, because now I'm starting to get into like the business stuff and getting my license and doing all of those different things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I love that. And you know what I love, Maggie, is you, before COVID, you were a great kid and a college student. You were learning to do yoga during COVID, and now you're teaching it. And this is only a year out, and you've made the leap from being a student to being a teacher, and from being a student to running your own business.
Yeah.
And that's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
What's been the toughest thing in that whole process?
I think the toughest thing for me, honestly, has been like my self-doubt, and then but I always have my community there, and that's like my grace as my community, and the support that I have from my family, and then the connections that I've made with people have been really helpful as well, because no matter who it was, I made an impression on them, and now people are willing to help me when I reach out and ask for the help too, which is so important. It's all about who you know and the connections that you make, I think.
Right.
But the hardest thing for me has been to stay consistent with myself and continue to like keep my eye on where I want to be going, because I think that it's really easy, especially living in a beautiful place like San Diego where the beach is right there and you've got your friends down the corner and stuff. So just staying consistent, staying focused on what I want to create has been important.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And what was the biggest challenge or the biggest challenges? Was there one thing that stood out that was tough that you thought, oh, I've got to get over that?
I think like as a young woman and knowing what I wanted to do so young, that was hard for me because none of my friends are doing any of this stuff. Like
because they're 20-year-old kids.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like I feel like a fish out of water in a sense. So I don't have very many people of my age group or who come from the same background as me in terms of like growing up in the same time era and the way that social media is now, like it creates so much opportunity that I think that people who are a little bit older than me have a hard time seeing how much opportunity actually exists within creating a space on social media or on the internet and how much possibility can come out of that.
I love that.
So I think that's been the hardest part is like just finding people to relate to and then.
But you've got us, and we're kind of like 20-year-olds.
Well, I think she thinks I'm just like a 20-year-old all the time.
She might think you're like a 16-year-old. It looks like she has me for adult insight.
Yes, obviously. The more mature partner in this.
With an emphasis on mature.
Yes. Well, Maggie, I would say I'm really proud of you too. I could cry thinking about it, but I'm not going to on our podcast. But I do really admire that you have stayed true to that. And I think not only did you maybe have your own self-doubt, but I think even your family might have had some self-doubt about, is this something that's worth pursuing? And, you know, is it the right thing for you to be doing? And ultimately, I think for any entrepreneur, if you have that gut instinct that you're doing the right thing, it's about sticking to that. And I think you're really brave for doing that, because a lot of women that we know that are deciding or wanting to do things are struggling with just that leap.
And I could only imagine, like, if you already have a family and kids and a husband or a wife, whatever your situation is, like how hard it would be to get out of that, like, energy that you're so comfortable in. I think, like, even for me, with my partner, I think, like, sometimes it's easy for me to get sucked into the, like, taking care role or like the woman's role and like not focusing on what I want to create. Sometimes that even creeps in because I think that is so natural and ancestral and in our society as what is normal. So I think
I love all these terms, this ancestral term and stuff. You have got to hang out with B. Montana. That's my mom. But you're right.
Yeah.
We are so proud of you, Maggie, and we're so happy that you were our guinea pig for the side hustle and so proud of what you've created.
Thank you.
Yeah, I am too. Well, and we really enjoyed that you're here, and I think it will give a lot of people insight. And if a 20-year-old can do it, anyone can do it. So I think, you know, if nothing else from today, take this as inspiration and realize that you can go for it and that there's a community behind you. And even if that community starts with just the three of us, we fully support it. So take the leap, make it happen. And thanks for joining the Face Your Grace podcast today. Thanks, Maggie, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good life, good